Except for the polar regions and a few islands, they have spread throughout the world. Religion has endowed snakes with mystical powers, invoking human emotions from reverence to outright fear. Snakes live among us, yet we find it difficult to accept their presence near our homes, whether we see them or not. This corn snake, however, is totally harmless. Although all snakes have the same fundamental body plan, there are wide variations on the theme. Measuring up to 29 feet in length, the green anaconda is almost 10 times longer than the typical corn snake. And at 440 pounds, it is 7,000 times heavier than the blind snake, which belongs to the family that includes the smallest snake in the world. There are around 2,700 different species of snakes. 70% of them hatch from eggs. Others are born live after struggling to break free from a membranous egg sac. Venom and fangs are found in only a quarter of all known snakes. But all species have methods of attack and defense that are adapted to habitats ranging from rainforest to desert. This is the tail of the cantle snake. Or if you're a frog, it's a worm. But not for long. Once tempted, the frog is turned from predator to prey in a single pounce. Snakes live by stealth, speed, and sheer power. From the tops of trees to the depths of oceans, snakes have turned an apparent disadvantage into an evolutionary success. Creatures without limbs, they are the surprise and sometimes fearsome survivors. In the realm of the senses, snakes seem particularly ill-equipped. This cobra is not actually hypnotized by the snake charmer's music. In fact, it can't hear it like us at all. Lacking an external ear and with a poorly developed middle ear, it picks up vibrations only if its lower jaw is in contact with the ground. And with relatively poor eyesight, the cobra fixes its gaze on movement. In pit vipers like the rattlesnake, vision is supplemented by two concave heat sensors just below the eyes. These so-called pits are lined with tiny receptor cells, sensitive to changes in temperature of 0.002 of a degree Fahrenheit. In its desert habitat, a rattlesnake can tell the difference between a warm breeze and the heat given off by its potential prey. The brain takes this information and combines it with visual images to precisely locate its prey. It's so accurate, it will have a near 100% success rate when it strikes. The importance of sight varies enormously between snake species. The blind snake has a degenerated eye, just a light-receptive cell. The eyes of many nocturnal snakes are so sensitive that they contract the iris to a slit during the day. Most snakes are unable to focus their eyes the way humans do. Instead, they move the lens in and out like a camera. The long-nosed tree snake is the only snake that can focus by changing the shape of its lens. It can also see in 3D. The uniquely grooved skull allows the snake's eyes to converge forward. Snakes can taste air and the odors it carries. A specialized apparatus called the Jacobson's organ is found in all reptiles. In snakes, the twin tips of the tongue pull scent molecules from the air and deposit them into the organ, passing information to the brain. So despite its relatively poor vision, a corn snake's Jacobson's organ allows it to track a mouse with rapid flicks of the tongue. For the green anaconda, the hunting tools are the same. It's the prey that varies. A mouse would hardly satisfy a 29-foot anaconda, but a dwarf caiman might. This relative of the alligator is an imposing challenge. The anaconda is not deterred. Relying on its immense strength, the anaconda squeezes the life out of its helpless prey. But how is it possible for a snake to devour an animal that is larger than its mouth? An early development in the evolution of snakes was the reconstruction of their heads. The jawbones and skull became held together by elastic ligaments, rather than fixed tightly to one another. This enabled snakes to widen their jaws and expand the capacity of their mouths. They also divided the jaw at the chin, allowing it to separate and open further. They used their backward-pointing teeth to grip their prey, rather than chew or tear like other predators. A more recent advance in the evolutionary story of snakes is the development of fangs. Just a quarter of all snake species devised enlarged teeth with a groove or hollow tube through the middle similar to a hypodermic needle. They could now deliver venom. Venom is produced by modified salivary glands found in the top of the snake's mouth. A mixture of proteins, venom can destroy tissue or attack nerve and muscle function. As this gaboon viper strikes, the dying rat's heart pumps venom around its body. The snake can now wait and track down the dead rat using its Jacobson's organ. The king cobra is the world's largest venomous snake, growing to over 16 feet. It preys mostly on other snakes, even venomous ones. The mangrove snake delivers a mild venom through a set of small fangs toward the back of its mouth. The cobra, however, injects its potent venom with fangs toward the front of its mouth. Although small in comparison to the gaboon viper's inch-long fangs, the king cobras are no less effective. As it strikes, the cobra holds on tight, ensuring the venom finds its mark. Within minutes, the mangrove is dead. Around 25,000 people a year die from snake bites, mostly in third world countries where antivenom is rare. Dean Ripa is lucky. He survived an attack by one of the most venomous snakes in the Americas. A bite from a bushmaster has an 80% fatality rate, even with antivenom.
You feel a great deal of immediate pain. It's like a pair of hot needles combined with a vice and a burning sensation. This pain has been compared to burn by fire and is one of the most terrible pains you can endure as it begins to spread, because you can feel actually the poisons moving up your arm. You can feel the swelling, the increase. If it struck a vein or an artery, you may be unconscious within a few minutes. I was unconscious in 7. Rapid loss of blood pressure, no heartbeat to speak of, or pulse that could be detected. And it was just a gradual blackening and darkening after that. Nada.
Snakes are rarely aggressive, and bites to humans are either accidental or defensive. Most snakes would rather warn large mammals of their